Now going to question 18, we always start with the prompt first, and here the prompt is telling us that this is a grammar question. So let's read with an eye toward grammar. And the big thing that I would want you to notice here is that we have a modifier right here in the middle of the sentence. Now, by the way, a clause is something that has a subject and a verb. For instance, John jumped. Or to make it dependent, since John jumped. The weak conjunction means that you can't put a period anymore. But a modifier, on the other hand, is something that's missing the subject, the verb, or both. For instance, while jumping, John twisted his ankle. Here, the subject and verb is John twisted. So the while jumping part doesn't have a subject or a verb. By the way, ing words are not verbs. So we have modifiers in yellow. While jumping, John twisted his ankle. John, while jumping, twisted his ankle. Or John jumped, twisting his ankle in the process. Those are all modifiers. They're all secondary parts of the sentence, whereas the red parts of these sentences are the main statement that was being made. John twisted his ankle, John twisted his ankle, or John jumped. So coming back here, it's really valuable for us to point out that that orange part is the middle modifier. Because when you're reading, you can kind of pretend it's not there temporarily so you can make better sense of everything around it. So let's do that. For thousands of years, people in the Americas have used the bottle gourd to make bottles, other types of containers, and even musical instruments. Now, for the record, the part in the beginning right here, this part right here is actually also a modifier, just like the orange part. So the independent clause, the subject-verb combination, is saying that the people, that's the subject, have used the bottle gourd, that's the verb. Have is a verb. By the way, you should get to know this list of 9 special verbs: is, was, are, am, were, be, have, has, had. They're the most common verbs you're going to see, and they're very easy to ignore because they're such little words. So coming back here, this is our verb right here, and it simply fits the situation. For many years, people in the Americas have used the bottle gourd to make bottles. Nothing else fits here. If we look at A, for many years, people in the Americas to use the bottle gourd to make bottles, doesn't make sense. C, for many years, people in the Americas having used the bottle gourd to make bottles. Now, to be fair, these 2 choices here, they would fit if this part of the sentence were itself a modifier, but that would be even more complicated. For instance, for many years, people in the Americas, having used the bottle gourd to make bottles, other types of containers, and even musical instruments, did something. So the point there is ing words can start a modifier as long as there's something later in the sentence that would finish the modifier. For years, people in the Americas, having used this stuff to make all this other stuff, did something. But C and D would be contingent on some other part of the sentence around here saying that they did something, and that part never shows up. So that's why C and D don't really work. And the answer is a nice, easy answer choice B here.